Okay, we're going to get into this tonight. We're not going to cover any of the court cases or anything else going on tonight. I want to correct a couple things. I was corrected on the pronunciation of Dylan, so I apologize for that. I'm corrected. I lived in Idaho my whole life, and I've always called it Moscow, but I was corrected by people who live there. It's Moscow, and I will respect that, I'm sure that's the way it's pronounced. I was just mispronouncing it my entire life, and that's not unheard of. So, all right, what we're going to do is talk tonight. We're going to talk about personal protection plans. What can we do to create a self-defense plan for us? We had a lot of talk. I've seen a lot of comments on here. I've seen a lot of talk on here about how do we keep ourselves safe? How do we keep our children safe or our family members safe? How do we do that? Well, that's creating a self-defense plan. The key number one part of self-defense planning is three things: mind, body, and tools. Your mind has to be in the right place. Your mind has to be in a place where you want to start training. You want to start preparing yourself to defend yourself or others. You have to know the laws of how far you can take it. You also have to know what you are capable of doing mentally. Can I take it this far? What can I do mentally? Then the other part of your body is knowing your limitations or your exceptions. Whatever you have with your body, all of us are different. We're all made different. We all have different abilities. So you have to decide, what am I capable of doing? And once you decide that, then you got to figure out what tool I'm going to use. Am I going to use a firearm? Am I going to use OC spray, which is oleoresin resin capsicum pepper spray? Am I going to use a knife, a stick, my hands? What am I going to use for self-defense? The number one, if you notice on the three steps, the first one is mind. That is the most powerful weapon you'll ever have, is your mind. So let's get into this. A lot of people get overwhelmed with self-defense planning. They think, oh, holy cow, I should have started martial arts 30 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, whatever it is. You don't have to worry about that. We need to figure out a plan that's going to work best for us. And simplify it. One of the rules in the military that they taught us was KISS. It's either keep it simple, stupid, or there's a few other acronyms. I'm going to leave that one alone. But just keep it simple. That's one of the keys, is keep your self-defense strategy simple. And the reason I say that is Hick's Law tells us, there's a study on Hick's Law. I mean, you could get deep. Hicks and Hyman are two psychologists, British and American psychologists, that they created this theory or this practice where it's considered a law of the more decisions you have to make to a reaction is going to slow your response down. If you have 1,000 different tools in your mind for self-defense and you've got one situation coming at you, you're going to look at it and go, what am I going to bring down? What am I going to pull on? What am I going to use? And by that time, it may be too late. So simplify it. And unless you train on a daily basis to go after the bad guy or to hunt somebody down, hunt those bad people down, if that's not what you do, and all you're doing is protecting yourself or your loved ones and making sure you're going to be safe at all times, simplify it. Simplify your defense strategy. That's the best you can ever do. There's simple moves you can make. There's simple weapons and tactics you can use. The other one we use is the OODA loop. Boyd was a colonel in the United States Air Force. He was a pilot, and he made the OODA loop. And again, they've taken the OODA loop and used it as a business model. But to really, really simplify it, an individual by the name of Tony Blauer taught this years ago. A phenomenal individual. I don't work with him or anything else, but I have trained with a lot of his instructions. But he really simplified it for us. And what it is observe, orient, decide, and act. And your observation is like, here's how simple it can be. Somebody has a fist, you observe the fist. Your brain goes, there's a fist. But it's not a threat to me yet. Once that fist starts moving, now it's a threat. I orient myself to that. I looked at, okay, now I see this. I see the threat coming. Now I've got to decide, what tool am I going to use to block this threat to me? Once I decide that tool that I'm going to use, I act on it. That loop will continue to go. It is so fast, your brain automatically, boom, boom, we're done. And it just keeps happening. Why do you think boxers or martial artists come at you with a combo? They're actually trying to throw your OODA loop off. Because your OODA loop is going to say, okay, I see a threat, now boom, I'm going to do this, and then another one comes, another one comes, another one comes. Your brain is overworked. You're going to miss one of those, and you're going to get hit. And so that's what the OODA loop is. If you apply that with the Hicks law, simplify it. Let's simplify this. The key thing that you're going to start practicing on right now when it comes to self-defense and it comes to planning, and you can start with your little kids, you can start with yourself now, I'm sure you've heard of this, is the color code of awareness. Colonel Cooper created this. Well, he didn't create it. The Marine Corps created it back in World War II, but I've mentioned this in my other videos, but the 4 colors is white, yellow, orange, and red. And to put yourself in perspective on how you're going to do your safety is your kids. I've had classes, and in my classes, I've had several people. I ask them, I say, are you aware of your surroundings? Are you situationally aware? And yep, I pay attention, I look, and I see what's going on in front of me. And inevitably, we talk about it, and the more we look at it, it breaks it down to they're aware of their actions. They're aware of what they're doing. They're aware of what's happening right in front of them. They're not aware of what's happening down the road. The more time you give yourself to react, the safer you're going to be. And sounds simple, right? I see bad coming, I leave. If it looks crazy, I'm avoiding it. But we don't do that. We tuck our head in the sand. One of the things we do is, and I guarantee 90% of the people listening to this video, I guarantee you're going to think to yourself, when I go to the store and I see somebody that I know and I don't want to talk to them right now, I go down an aisle I've never gone down. I didn't need to go down to a grocery shop, but I went down it anyway just to avoid a long time conversation that I don't need in the store at the time. It's the same. If you see something that you don't want, you don't like, it scares you, it doesn't look right, you turn and avoid it. You give yourself enough time to say, I can avoid this, and I'm going to avoid it at all costs. Then when you go from there, the next step, that's one of the steps of avoidance. The next one is they get closer. So your color code of awareness, you're at white. White is that M&M juice drooling down your face, drinking, whatever you want to drink, sitting in front of Netflix, you have no clue of what's going on around you. Yellow is you're a little bit more aware. These are simplified. Trust me, I'm really simplifying these. Yellow is yours to step up of your awareness. You're outside gardening or you're walking your dog or whatever it is, you're just more aware. You see a car coming or whatever. Orange is you have a feeling something's not right. Something's going to happen and I've got to avoid it. Red is it's imminent. It's going to happen. There is a threat. And so each one of these, if you're more aware and if you go out through the color codes, you can make a game out of it and say, okay, this person doesn't look right, so I'm going to watch. I'm going to see what they're doing. I'm going to watch what people watching is the greatest self-defense you can ever have. And so with these color codes of awareness, we teach our kids this. If you're going to go somewhere, put yourself in the yellow. Always, whenever you walk out that door, you better be yellow, slightly orange, all the time. Be aware. Be very aware of your surroundings and be ready to respond. On campuses, the key thing, if your child or you yourself are going to school and you go live in the dormitories, or you live in a housing unit, whatever it is, don't prop doors open. If doors are meant to be locked, leave them locked. If a friend wants to come over and visit, just have them go through the front like they need to. If there's a sign-in policy, have them sign in. Don't just prop doors open. If you're going to have a party, have a good idea of who's all there. If you're going to have a party in your house, you guys are renting a house as a group of friends, just be aware of who's there. Pay attention to it. If somebody's not acting right or looking right, have them leave. But really, if your doors need to be locked, lock your doors, lock your windows. Put braces in your windows so they can't open them. Close your curtains at night. Trust me, if your lights are on at night inside your house, I've done this before. I've stood on porches, standing right next to sliding glass doors, looking at a suspect through the window, watching their actions because their whole house is lit up and the porch wasn't. They couldn't see me, but I could see everything they were doing. Close your curtains, close your blinds. If you don't have them, put something up there. Don't put things in front of the window that's going to attract people. Never, ever go to parties by yourself or events where you don't know people and you go by yourself. Find somebody. Don't leave your drinks by themselves. Never have somebody fill a drink for you, ever. Even a friend. If a friend says, I'm going to go get a drink for you, and you're at a party, sorry, I'm not saying your friend's going to do something to you. I'm saying your friend might get distracted, put the drink down, talk to a friend, then pick it up and come back to you. What happened to it? You have to be more aware of your own safety. Don't put your safety in somebody else's hands. Don't put your safety in law enforcement hands either. Their average response times is 4 to 7 minutes in the city and longer in the county if you're out in the county somewhere. So really, you are your own first responder. So once you decide what type of personal protection plan you're going to do, make that first step. And when you go to your schools or your homes, wherever you're at, wherever you're living, your workspaces, if the doors are meant to be locked, leave them locked. Don't prop them open. Be aware. Look up from your phone. Look up from your computer. Even while you're in class, don't leave things to your back. If you're in the classroom and somebody walks to the back door, take a peek. Just see who walked in. We need to act. And the thing is you have to know fear. And I mean know is K-N-O-W. You have to know fear. Learn fear. Learn how far you can take it. Learn what you can do with it. If you let fear take over, you're going to freeze. You're going to freeze. Virginia Tech, 32 students were killed, and they found some sitting in their seats in the classroom because they froze. And that's no blaming of them, none whatsoever. They just didn't know, and they let the fear take over. So practice watching and being extremely observant. Really pay attention to your surroundings. Really mean it. Don't just take a peek and look and then turn away and walk off. Pay attention. And I don't want to make this video so long, so I'm going to close it out here. I know it was a lot of information I threw at you really quick, but these are things you can go research. Is the OODA loop. It's OODA. And so you go look it up as observe, orient, decide, and act. And the other one is the color codes of awareness. And the other one is Hicks law, Hicks or Hyman law. And go research these. A lot of them are really in depth. They have a deep, because they cover a lot of business stuff. We use it for self-defense things, and we really simplify it and bring it down to what we can understand. And when we look at it and go, okay, I see a fist. Oh, now it's coming at me. So I'm orienting to it. I'm gonna decide what tool I'm gonna use to defend against that. Now I'm gonna act. And you guys, once you figure out what your defense planning is going to be, you can go from there. You can. The world is yours. Don't be so scared out there. Be confident. Be aware of your surroundings and be confident. Know what you can, you can't do, and be safe. Be vigilant. Have a great night.